Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is a man who's so upset that Godzilla was snubbed for Best Supporting Actor at this year's Oscars, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, buddy. I'm ready to do a whole lot of cowboy shit. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. We doing it, buddy. Can I just get back to the Godzilla thing real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
When that popped into my head as like a thing to intro you with, I literally had to Google whether Godzilla was male or female. Did you know? Because again, like, has a son, laid eggs,
right?
But I never really remembered whether the American or the Japanese one was different. I went down a whole rabbit hole of like, is Godzilla a male or a female?
I always assume male.
Of course, because it's violent.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you're just like, yeah, it's fucking lizard's crazy, so it's got to be man.
And not to get into the weeds, I swear to God, this is true. This is about 10 years ago. I was walking across my gym, and we always have TV stations on, and the news is on. Yeah. This is like Fox News. And they're talking about whether Godzilla was a male or female. That was like their big story.
No way.
I'm not making it up. And I thought to myself, really? This is what they're discussing at 12 o'clock on Fox News, whether Godzilla is male or female.
Well, listen, you gotta if they're gonna be up for Best Supporting Actor or Actress, you gotta figure that stuff out,
right?
And it's priorities. So I'm glad they're doing the work ahead of me. So I should have watched that report, but I will never watch Fox News. That is insane. But good to see you, buddy. Yes, we will do a whole lot of cowboy shit on this episode. We will be talking mostly TV recap today. It's going to be Reacher finale and the season as a whole, the second season of that on Amazon Prime. Fargo, their latest season of that anthology series on Hulu or FX on Hulu. Their finale and season concluded, so we'll talk about that. And also, True Detective Night Country has premiered on HBO and Max, and I watched the first 2 episodes of that one, so we can kind of go over that. And if we have some time, there's some other shows that we might dip into as well. But let's start right up top, buddy. Obviously, you're very excited to talk about Reacher. We've been kind of tipping that between our favorite TV shows of the year episode, and even I think I introed you in the past of like wanting to talk exclusively about Reacher. So here's your moment, dude. So season 2 ended.
Yep.
This last week, on Friday, and I would say I was, a little mad that the way they ended the previous episode before the finale, because I was like, good God, you're going to stretch this one thing out way out, and then obviously conclude it this past Friday. So I guess I don't know, what do you want to talk about, the season as a whole and then the finale, or how do you want to play this? However you like, sir, because you're the bigger. Well, the bigger fan, but I'm a big fan, right. And I love this show. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's just kind of gloss over it, and then we'll talk about the finale. So, because we've already talked about the show multiple times on the podcast, but
it's true.
At the conclusion, I will say, out of the 2 finales we're talking about, this was the better finale, and I'll leave it at that. Yeah. But no, I like this season a lot, and I've been around people who still like season 1 better. I mean, that's like picking between your favorite kids, which we all know we have one, but we won't say it publicly. But no, sure. I like this season because, again, I like the team dynamic. I like the flashbacks of him getting his unit together. And I know Reacher's supposed to be solo, and we're going to get that in the 3rd season, it looks like, and I'm fine with that. But I did like the storyline. This is like, outside of The Boys for me, this is like almost like one of the most addictive shows that I just can watch over and over and over and over again. It's fun, it's cheesy, but what they're trying to discover or detect or investigate, it's good. It's good storylines, and I like it. Alan Richardson, like, I love his 90s one-liners. I mean, he's like the throwback action star. There's one line in there where the whole house scene where they were about to get ambushed, right? I forgot what episode that was. And he's chasing the guy in the SUV, and he's like, what killed him? Or something like that. And he's like, probably the trans fats. Like, I love those one-liners. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great. It had a nice balance of really gritty action along with the story. Now, it took me a while to get used to Robert Patrick, right?
Robert Patrick,
as the big heavy this season. But
which, by the way, we didn't talk about it, but that one little line of
I know
the "Who is Sarah Connor" thing.
Who gives a yeah.
I chuckled. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah,
you chuckled. I cringed at that line for some reason.
Yeah. He doesn't deliver it great, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, fine, that's good.
But no, this season gave me everything I wanted. I like the addition of Detective Russo, played by Dominic Lombardozzi, I think his name is. I like, and that was one of my favorite episodes. Is the scene with him and Neagley. I won't spoil anything, but in the alleyway there towards the end of that episode, because just her OCDs and the way she doesn't physically touch anybody. I love that. That's probably my favorite episode. But so overall, it was a great ride, man. I tell people all the time, this is a fun show. Yes, does it get cheesy in parts? Absolutely. But I mean, I love it. And Alan Richardson has that just draw to the screen, man. Again, he's a throwback 90s action star. So I loved it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Because you primed me in like saying that you went back and rewatched all of season 1. I did the same, and I said it before this season, or as the seasons kind of went along. I kind of like the tone, the small town one man wrecking crew thing a little bit more,
right?
With the obviously his side crew that he takes when he's in Margrave.
Yeah, Margrave.
When with Finley and Roscoe and all those things, I thought those were kind of like charming little touches that were very effective. This one, I like the team, but it's so much more polished and on the road and gray. And weirdly enough, the one thing I noticed when I was doing the season 1 rewatch, season 1 is way more like violent, like very violent, especially like hand-to-hand combat violent. Like that scene, this doesn't spoil anything for anybody. Like I just rewatched the episode like today, I think, where he chokes out that guy by jumping off the fire escape and like pulling on a rope until basically his eyeballs pop out, that's like, wow. It's like, thank you streaming TV for getting to be this violent. But, I didn't feel like there was a ton of that. There was a lot of like good hand-to-hand combat in this one. I particularly like when the team fought like the biker gang, or when they were pinned down with Robert Patrick and his group, when basically Reacher goes one man all out,
right,
and lets the team go and escape. So that I thought was impressive. There's a lot of impressive violence. And yeah, there's great additions. Like there's a lot of people on that team. And Neely obviously is back from the first season, all that. But yeah, this season, it's popcorn.
Yeah.
It's perfect. Like it's just so light and fluffy, but also ultra violent and cheeky. And, there's a lot of, it's impressive that they had as good a chemistry as they did to just intro this team and kind of wing it in a way. Like they did a lot of flashbacks to set things up, but they didn't ultimately correlate. If I had any issues, it's probably Robert Patrick.
Yeah, same here.
I think they could have done better.
Yeah, same here. And it's like I said, if you're going to choose season 1, I'm not going to even argue because I totally see it. But I'm kind of glad they chose, and I never read the books, I'm not going to lie, but I'm glad they chose this, whatever book they picked for the second season, because again, we got his background, we got his military stuff. Now we can just go back and get back to again, like you said, from season 1. Probably small town or big city, but it's going to be him. It's going to be another just Reacher by himself. But at least they set us up with what he's kind of like and what he was like in the military, what kind of leader he was, and, the family he has. And it was just great. Yeah. But yeah, Robert Patrick was my big issue. Also, if we're going to get out of the finale, once the issue with Robert Patrick is resolved, I don't even know his name, but the guy who took the doctor's identity, the AM guy, had all these different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of a letdown. I thought that was they set it up like it was going to be some kind of big showdown somehow, and it really never materialized.
No, and he was kind of, for a guy that's supposed to be so menacing, and you see him actually commit murders as opposed to like Robert Patrick's character, you kind of get a sense of like, oh, there's going to be some kind of showdown, some standoff, something.
And there was
it's very quick.
Yeah.
And it's a few little like lines of him trying to put his thesis statement out there, and it
just didn't work for me. Yeah, it was weak.
It's I'm the middleman. Don't you want to kill the guys who pull the trigger? Blah blah blah. It's like, no, like you're killing people left and right. Like we've seen you do this. You're not some just regular businessman. Like you're a psychopath, assuming people's identities and there should have been a lot more.
Yeah,
and I wonder if there was a lot more and they just didn't do it. But like this is also what happens when you split villains too.
Yeah,
you're splitting the arrangement, both sides of the arrangement on the villain side on two different storylines ish, and that's why like I don't know, Robert Patrick's thing just didn't fully work. And it's kind of similar to the Margrave one. I thought that was the villain wasn't as compelling, like, or it wasn't at least at the very end. Because again, they tried to get too big,
right?
But yeah, it's interesting. It's just the one thing I like about this, where in the sequence of books that they're doing, because I guess there's a lot of them.
Yeah,
and the ones that they're doing, I thought they're choosing the right ones as far as like what's good for television and what's good for developing Reacher, because in the first one you have literal family where his brother is involved in the season. Then the second one is like the family he chooses with the special investigators and his old unit. And now we'll see. I hear there's yet another like people who enter his life that's like big in the books.
Right.
Like I guess another couple of that's out there. But we'll see. We'll see how that enters. But, they left a lot of things open. Everybody's still around that matters, basically. So, like, there's more on the bone that they'll probably call back to and do more seasons. I'd be interested to see if they eventually get out of the books, like some other big shows that get developed from books, like a book series, like Dexter or Game of Thrones or any of these other ones.
Right. And just to piggyback what you said like a minute ago, but the way they wrote this season was I thought, again, the last scene with the guy we thought would have the conflict, that's the way they kind of like started directing. It's like, okay, Robert, once he gets past Robert, he's like the small boss, and then we're gonna get to the big boss, and it's like, really? The other cringe moment I had, I get it. It's Amazon Prime. It's a streaming service. They don't have like the best special effects, but when he jumped on the helicopter, they showed him like swaying from the body. It looked so bad.
It's a little weird.
It looked so bad.
Although there are stretches when they're fighting in the helicopter in that final episode that look very good.
Yeah.
So where I was like, this is high-end TV.
Yeah, but Amazon knows to kind of hit ahead because they're already filming season 3, right? From what Alan Richardson said. Richardson said, yeah. So, yeah, man, just this is just a great show, and I'm like telling every person that would listen, like, watch Reacher, man. Just watch it.
Yeah. I'll tell you, though, I will miss, if she's not, I will miss Serinda Swan.
Dixon? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I meant she's one hot tamale, brother. Way better love interest in this season than the first one. I will say that.
As far as looks, you're saying? I mean, because I like Roscoe. I think
she's no Dixon, though. It's all
no,
I
mean it's very different for sure. But again, I'm not kicking either to the curb. I like them. I like them both in attitude, looks, and everything else. And they were both really good in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I like the fact that they already kind of like brought Finley back for.
That was a cool cameo. I like that.
That was I like that a lot. And I'm hoping we get more of it. So when we do subsequent seasons, although, have you read anything about where they think this might go?
I kind of read a blurb where they're choosing, or they won't say, but they're guessing it's going to be between two books, both set. I think they said both set in New York City.
Oh no, then yeah,
is what I read.
So. Again, because obviously he's on a bus leaving New York City. So I think there's one that's apparently a fan favorite book that goes down to Key West.
I haven't heard that one.
And if you saw, I forgot, not Sanchez. Maybe Sanchez? The one who had the bartender girlfriend, wife, or whatever. She gets in the car and she's like, Key West or bus. It's like, why did she say Key West if they're not also going to go to Florida?
Okay.
So they tip that a little bit if that's a thing that they tip. I think there was some other tip that they say, like, I think either in his conversation he had on the bus or something like that, that tipped where he might be going next. So I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, and a lot of them end up looking like, these one-man solo missions with the potential to maybe add this one other couple that I read that he interacts with that's in multiple books.
Okay.
So we'll see. But I don't know how quick they're trying to get to, like new established characters, because I don't know. I it's a testament to the show's effectiveness that I miss certain characters and I wish they kept going on. So I don't know how many seasons we want to keep doing this like hard reset and then let him rock and roll. But I mean, we're good.
Right.
It makes sense, but I feel like the way they're escalating is almost like they don't know how many seasons they're going to be able to pull this off.
Right. They're playing the high hand. They're just playing the high hand right now. So
exactly.
And it's like I told you, like I'm going to binge this season this weekend because, we had to wait a week per episode. Now I just kind of watch. I want to watch them concurrently now. Like I want to watch 8 hours of this thing.
Yeah. I did that. I already did when I think when 7 premiered, I think I rewatched all the way up to 7 or whatever, and then watched the finale. So I did my rewatch, and like I said, and I still feel that way about the season where I'm like, I'm in. There's a lot of highs. There's a lot of good times. Pipe bombing a house, or like a brownstone or whatever in the middle of fucking New York City is pretty crazy. But yeah, it's. I like a little more on the first one, but again, I think it's slower, it's more personal, and weirdly more violent.
Right?
So,
yeah, we're talking semantics. So, like I said, it's either or. Just keep pumping me full of Reacher, and I'm fine.
Exactly. On another show, though, that we've been kind of keeping our eye on, Fargo, which is this is season 5, right?
5, correct.
Which obviously is an anthology show, so it's not like anything carries over for this one. If you've been paying attention, we kind of like talked about this a little bit on and off throughout its run a little bit, with Juno Temple being the lead with John Hamm. This one, it's interesting. I thought this season got off to such a hot start. And then I think when they had that episode that got more into the weeds about the hitman who's kind of like a hundreds-year-old demon
500
guy.
Buddy, 500 years old.
Yeah, that it doesn't seem to make sense, or at least make sense to the season or the impact on the season. And then when you get to the finale or even the last 2 episodes where there's a lot more of him and his impact on the show that I thought really took away from other probably better showdowns that they could have in this season, I thought it really got derailed for a while. And a lot of storylines, they just kind of started and stopped too.
Right.
Like a lot, like the escaped mother thing, that little camp. Like I still am like, was that a dream? Was it not a dream? What are we talking about? And then and that was like a whole side project for like what, an episode and a half, 2 episodes. Like it was a lot. Right. So for a show that's not that long, I thought it really kind of got in the weeds. I think this episode or this season, if it was like 5 episodes, it would have been like amazing. But when they tried to stretch it, I think they got way out of bounds, lost a lot of momentum, and the finale kind of just fizzled. Especially the very end, where I was like, "This is what you want to end on." So, what'd you think? I obviously put out a lot.
No. There's a lot to talk about there. But if I had one word, because I was thinking one word to describe this season, is uneven. It's an uneven season. It's exactly what you said. I liked a lot of scenes, and if I could like pick a lot of scenes, there's a lot of scenes I like in this show. But man, that finale just left me flat. I didn't like how they kept like going to black and then flashing to what's going on, and going to black and flashing what's going on.
Yeah,
that killed me. And you're right, like. And I had to rewind a bunch because, listen, I'm pretty sure I pay attention to everything, but the whole Munch and Gator scene, I was like, did I miss when he kidnapped Gator? Like, did I miss a whole episode? Like, it just seemed like that incident happened. All of a sudden, he's tied up and he's putting a hot poker in his face. I'm like, we never got like how them two got connected after that. I missed all that. But the Munch storyline is what threw me. like you said.
Yeah.
I tried to read like what he represented, and Dot being nice to him at the very end, showing him some kindness, and like you don't have to take everyone's shit, and like you don't have to take this path. You create your own path. Like I kind of got it, and it was an okay scene, but I'm like that. Like you said, that's what you want to end with. Like that character just didn't fit the season. It just was the one left field storyline that I'm like I could do without. Like you could take him out of damn Fargo season 5, and I would have been fine with it. You know what I mean?
I agree. If you just literally like either killed him in that convenience store or left him as something, and took away the bogey,
right?
I think that's just fine. Like there's so many elements. You know what I think might have happened? And again, this is complete speculation. They really tried to drive home, this is based on a true story.
Right.
Right. And I wonder whether there's a lot of things that are just, oh, isn't this crazy? This story's so crazy. Look, this happened and this happened. I wonder if they overthought it. That they just were like, we have to add all these crazy elements because it's true. This is bananas. It's got to be good if it's true. But that's not how television works.
Right.
That's not how story building works. So, and even still, if it's true, what is true? Because there's a lot of stuff that seems, sci-fi. There's some stuff that seems dreamlike. What is true? And so if you're playing with that, but then also trying to drive home, this is a true story based on, and change names and this and that and going hard about the reality of it. I don't know if you want to get all mystical too hard, with these and really distract from your main story, which is actually really good. Cause I thought Juno Temple was really good. I liked, Joe Keery.
Yeah.
I liked him a lot in this. Ham's good, of course. I thought the Lamar Morris from New Girl, that fellow who plays the trooper or whatever, who's with her in the beginning. Yeah. He just, like in and out, like they just used him for whatever they wanted. And then for him to have his quote showdown with John Hamm and have it be nothing to do really with Juno Temple present or any of these other things. Like I thought that was just lame.
Yeah.
I thought a lot of these things just fizzled. I also like Dave Foley in this season too. I like, he really feels like the Coen brothers character.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For if you're going to go into the Fargo tradition and try to write in those things. Graves, I believe, was his character name.
Yep.
Yeah, was awesome. Anything for you to stand out? At least on the positive here?
I'll get back to the Wick character. I thought they underutilized him because I thought he'd be bigger character in the story arc, but he really wasn't. He's like in the first 2 episodes, and he was absent for like 5 episodes, and he would pop in. Didn't like it. I love Jennifer Jason Leigh's character in this show.
Yeah, her accent is so bizarre, though. Sometimes it got to me, but yeah, I'm with you.
I love one of my favorite scenes is the last episode. That scene where she visits Roy Tillman in the penitentiary, and she gave him the pack of cigarettes. It's like, you're gonna need these, and like I just love how she just like smacked him down. Like that was one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah,
So I mean, the standouts are Juno Temple, like you said, John Hamm, which I thought was kind of funny. I chuckled. He's supposed to be this ultra conservative MAGA person. Would someone like that really have nipple rings in bed? Like, I thought they were going to explore his, like, I thought they were going to, like, dive into his fetishes a little bit more.
Yeah.
I thought that was odd. They're like, what kind of guy is this really? He's got the, like, it just, then they kind of, like, just got away from that and just made him more of the crazy patriot, gun-toting guy. But no, I love Joe Keery. Like you said, Gator, different role than he does in Stranger Things. I thought he carried it very well. I like the female deputy. I forget her name. I didn't write it down. But like the whole...
Richa Morjani, who played Indira.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought she was great. The stuff with her husband, I laughed at because her husband's such a dolt. And that whole speech she gave her about how he really wants a wife. I'm like, oh my God, just leave him. Like, leave him.
Yeah. But it's like they did so much for her to just be...
Then it went
kind
away.
of a security guard at the end. Yep. Like, okay, that's stupid. Like, so it was a lot of things that in the beginning made a lot of sense, and I was ready to rock and roll. And then for where I saw them all go, I was disappointed with a lot of them. I thought a lot of it fizzled, or they tried to drum up things that I wouldn't have personally wanted to see more of in taking away probably, like Juno Temple doesn't really get her final moments a little bit. Everybody else kind of seems to be on the rescue for her instead of her getting like her just due. And again, I wonder if that's again because that's not how the true story went. So they went harder the other way. I don't know.
But the best part of the best scenes in the series is with Juno Temple when she goes on the offensive and becomes that tiger and is aggressive, like the very first episode, the home invasion, the Halloween episode where she home alones the house. I thought that was great. The whole breaking out of the hospital scene was great. A lot of good stuff. They just, again, they kind of went off the trail and had these characters and story arcs that just didn't materialize. They weren't fleshed out enough. And just, again, really let down with that. And I did, David Foley, I wrote that down. I really liked him. But I thought it was out of character that he was going to confront Roy Tillman like that by himself. Like, what did you think was going to happen in that moment? I did love that scene where he had the two other Roy Tillmans in there at the.
I love that too. Yeah,
that was great. Yeah. But the last episode was so anticlimactic and just fell so flat for me and almost ruined the season. Like I feel I can't give this a full recommend to my clients. I'm like, yeah, it was good. It could have been great, but it was good. You know, it was okay. That's where I left it. You know.
Yeah, there's enough meat there to be like, it's worth watching, I guess, but you'll probably be disappointed a little bit.
Right.
You know, especially with how hard it goes, those first few episodes that are so entertaining.
Yeah.
And honestly, and there's a few characters like this, but David Rysdale, who plays Wayne, the new husband, I also thought when he, gets electrocuted or whatever, and has his brain scrambled a little bit. I don't know. I liked his personality, his role in the show before all that happened. I almost wish he got to be more consistent. Have him have an accident, that's fine, but to really kind of just throw him to the side mentally and have him kind of be nothing for the rest of the show.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there, like I said, there's many examples of this, so it's kind of a meh. It's probably like a 3 out of 5 kind of a season, 3.5 at best, but it had potential to be so much higher.
I gave the same. I gave it like a 3, Andrew cheat code 3.25. It was on course to be as good as season 1 and 2, which still are my favorite seasons of Fargo. It was on that trajectory, and it just got shot out of the sky.
If you had to choose one, what is your favorite season?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. Season 1, Billy Bob Thornton's character. Yeah, I still got to go season 1. It's close, though, because Jesse Plemons in season 2 is great with Kirsten Dunst.
He's always great. I know. That's why. Yeah, I love it. I think we're doing pretty good on time. Did you want to put out let's start with Echo.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. We didn't do True Detective first. Hold on. So True Detective Night Country, I'll just do real quick. They're only 2 episodes in. If you are a fan of the good seasons, I'll say, of True Detective, season 2, I think it's a bum rap because there was so much hype, but I think there's a lot to like there too, and it has some of the vibe that a traditional True Detective season has. I just think it got away from them and concentrated a little more on the stuff that Vince Vaughn was more interested in than the show and what could have been fun. But yeah, this show, for being, it's usually at least a little consistent in terms of tone and mood and things of that one. This one brings it into one of those like dark crime noirs. We're in the middle of Alaska, middle of nowhere, and it's very intriguing. Some people have compared it to kind of, what if you stumbled onto the end of The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, and then kind of moved forward. From what I understand, the more horror elements or the more mystical or sci-fi elements might be less of what this season seems to provide. But honestly, I don't really care because the crime is interesting, but the kind of intrigue and the relationships between Jodie Foster's character, she's kind of like the head of this police group in Alaska, working with, I think, a former colleague. It's kind of like up in the air in terms of exact relationship between her and this other police officer who is now a trooper, comes back into the fold, who's kind of hung up on this cold case from years ago about a woman who got stabbed like 32 times. It was a gruesome murder that she can't shake, and these two seem possibly tethered together. And the interest in those two, as well as certain other relationships with other police officers who seem like they might be purposely dirty or not, and then there's a few other characters in there that, again, it's very early, but they're setting up a lot of intriguing storylines that I think are definitely worth watching. And I really like, because you start the season right as the last sunset happens, where they're about to go into, darkness for months, as Alaska does up in that region. And so we're in kind of like the opposite of Christopher Nolan's Insomnia, where it's like that one was, I think, also Alaska.
Yep.
Was in perpetual sunlight.
Yep.
This is the opposite. This is the perpetual darkness. But yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna watch this, and I'm hoping that it stays as intriguing as it should be. And I think as the actual crime continues, I think it'll be even more interesting and probably more gruesome, which please do. Are you a True Detective guy at all? Are you going to watch this show, you think?
Yeah, I honestly forgot it came out this past weekend. To be honest with you, that's the only reason why I didn't watch it. Is I totally forgot. I was watching football and I totally forgot it was even coming out. But
which, by the way, excellent football.
Yes,
excellent football. So it's well worth the distraction.
No, I'm a True Detective fan. I love season 1, obviously, which is like the top of the pyramid. It's like the peak that they're all trying to like reach again. But I think I agree with you. Like, I liked season 2, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Like, yeah, it wasn't season 1; it was different, but I dug it, man. So I'm a fan of this series. So I can't wait to hop on board and give season 4 get rolling with season 4, man. So I'm all about some True Detective.
Yeah, and this is the first season this is the 4th season. The first one not done by creator Nick Pizzolatto as well. So it's a whole different crew doing it. This is Issa Lopez working on this one. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, I am intrigued thus far. Again, I think we're pretty good on time. If you want to do Echo.
Yeah, let's run over Echo. Be a quick little back and forth on Echo.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a minute since it ended and since I finished it, and you finished it even before me. But yeah, this one, God, I don't know. There are I thought, again, if you want to talk about how you characterized Fargo as uneven, this is the epitome of uneven. Because the first episode, if you told me this is how this show is going to be, I'm like, this is a clip show. This is very weak. It's all over the place in terms of tempo. It's another one of those shows. We talked about this a lot with some of the Disney Plus shows. Why did they love naming shows after characters that they're interested in more the stuff around them than the actual character?
Right.
It's worse with Ahsoka. Like, I think that was the last time we made that comment. But this one, I think it has a lot of feelings. You could tell it got chopped to death. I believe this was a series that was, 8 episodes that got chopped to 5.
Yep.
And it shows. I think there's a lot of things, especially with her heritage, that, they basically present, but they don't really fully, I don't know. I didn't care about a lot of the flashbacks, and a lot of them either took too long or didn't give enough, because they end up meaning a lot in terms of giving her almost superhero powers that she only really has in this town, in this area that she had to tap into. I liked her family. I liked the grandparents, especially. I like that relationship stuff. I think, if I remember his name correctly, is Biscuits.
Yep.
Might be one of the most insulting characters I've seen on television in some time. Like, that feels like a insulting 90s character that we forgot, that has been lost to time. Because it's like, okay, you show a flashback where you show her as a kid. You allude to a person named Biscuits, but he's never there. So they have no relationship that they're going off of. He's also a dimwit who is trying to be helpful, but instead he's kind of just this simpleton that I don't know if they wanted him to be comedic, but it's just a fail.
Yeah.
It's a hard fail. And then I don't know what I'm supposed to feel for her relationship with Kingpin. And I don't know how much more I have left of me, which shows about Kingpin in me, because this really kind of soured it. And he's all over the place now.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Daredevil got it. And then everything else subsequently has done all it can to kind of unravel this. And I think you said this to me, isn't this supposed to set up the next Daredevil thing where he now runs for mayor and he's supposed to be like, he's forgotten all his anger and he's a different person. So like now we're not going to really have Kingpin anymore. I don't know. It could cause a lot of damage for a show that not a lot of people maybe are endeared to or watched.
Right. You got a lot.
But you seem to like it better than me. So please.
Yeah, you got there's a lot to unpack in what you said. So I was trying to pay attention to everything. Not that I don't pay attention to you, but like you there's a lot to unpack.
Sure. Yeah. The true feelings come out, Shane. Thank you.
All
yeah.
Right, so overall, I think what saved this series for me, and it did feel choppy, and I'm sure because it went from 8 to 5, a lot was left on the floor. But honestly, I'm kind of glad it was 5 episodes. I think the average runtime was like 32 to 35 minutes. And
that's the other thing too. Shorter episodes too.
And with this character who I don't really know anything about, in the comics at all, so I'm going in blind, right? So I'm kind of glad it was short. I think
and deaf.
Yeah, and deaf.
Yeah.
I think it saved it for me. I thought the action scenes were I enjoyed the action scenes. I enjoyed I can't even pronounce her name. Alaqui Cox is Maya Lopez. But you're right. Like, it doesn't set up enough or give her like that real depth of, I don't know. I just felt like I liked her family. I liked, like, again, that whole family thing that she has. Oh, and then her motive in this show was like, really? Like, you want to be the queen pin? Like, it just didn't make any sense to me at all.
Yeah, I never bought that.
I never bought that either. So you go home for that. I like the supporting cast. The action was fine. It was quick moving. Story-wise was all over the place. And her powers, now I did go back because I hate when I have to go back and read the fill-in gaps and stuff. But the power, the supernatural power she got at the end are not her comic book powers at all.
Yeah, I heard they changed that, yeah.
In the comics, her powers are more like Taskmaster from Black Widow, where she like can see a style of fighting and pretty much copy it and adapt that style of fighting. It's in her repertoire from there on out.
Right.
That's her.
Instead, they change it where the echo of her family is what creates it versus the echo of like her emulating things.
Right. Which I'm like, okay, if you want to change things up to like hit her culture and her Indian, all that stuff, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine. It just looked hokey. It got a little hokey at the end.
Very.
And as far as like the Kingpin stuff, yeah. From what I read, they're trying to make him the Thanos of the street level Marvel universe. I do feel like they're stretching him a little bit too thin at this point. Like, the most jarring thing was seeing him in Hawkeye action. I'm like, really? Like, Kingpin's okay, whatever. And I love Vincent D'Onofrio, and I love the Kingpin, but I love the Kingpin from the Netflix series. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Just a sociopath that just goes around beating people to death. That's what but also very smart. That's what I like. Now, going forward, I'm like, did they use this show just to springboard into Daredevil? Like, really? Because it's set up.
Feels like it.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like they just used this as a short vehicle to get Kingpin set up for the whole Daredevil run that they're doing.
Do you think we see Echo again?
I do. I do think she makes. Now, I haven't read anything, and I'm not going to, but I do think she'll make a cameo or be in at least one episode of the Daredevil series. I don't think we're through with this character yet. Because it has potential. I just think they left a lot to be, again, uneven is another, like you said, it's an uneven show. But compared to what I just had to shovel down my throat with these Disney Plus shows, I'll rewatch this before I watch Secret Invasion in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I did like Miss Marvel's character. She's more upbeat, so I did like that portrayal. But as a series, again, being shorter and more action, I'm watching this series because over that one.
Yeah, and definitely over She-Hulk.
Absolutely. So based on what came out, this is probably and it's not saying a lot, it's the best series they've had in the last 3 or 4 series they try to roll out for Disney Plus.
God, it's such a tough statement, but you might be right.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to swallow.
It is. But it was, like I said, it was okay. I'll give it a pass. Now, I'll be curious to see what they do going forward. Because that Daredevil stuff is getting, like, you keep reading different reports every day. Like I just read today before we got on the mics. It's not going to be 18 episodes anymore. They're cutting it from like 18 to, I think I read 8 or 9.
Makes sense.
Right? Which I'm fine with, I think 10 would be a perfect number. But we'll see. Because, again, what she did to Kingpin at the end, I'm like, okay, that's supposed to purge him of his rage and anger. Now he has nothing. He doesn't have those feelings anymore. So, like, what? Like, and I'm assuming he'll get him back somehow in the Daredevil series. Like, whatever.
But again, also about like the mother stuff, like they mentioned that she's a healer. So like that's supposed to be her power too.
Yeah.
Even though you're channeling the ancestors who all seem to be very different.
Yeah, very different.
Probably more, I don't know, leadership. It didn't seem like they had any of the healing qualities, and it didn't really jive. And you also don't, they show that one scene with the bird with the mother, but they don't really get a good glimpse of the mother throughout. Like even the stuff early didn't do a lot, and then she's, obviously gone afterwards.
Right, and the whole scene I found weird, which was out of Kingpin's character, is like when he gets to Oklahoma and he wants to have a picnic dinner with her in her fucking house, and I'm like, dude, she just shot you in the face, like, like what?
Yeah,
you're gonna give her contact lenses so you could communicate? Like, what the hell is going on here?
Which I was like, that's kind of cool.
No, the contacts are cool, but I'm like, no, the old Kingpin would have smashed her skull right then and there. Like, what is going on here? Like, so why he was so compassionate to her? They didn't show that bond that they really had. Because even in the flashback scene in episode 1, when she was a girl in the whole ice cream vendor scene.
Well, they did it in mostly montage, which again doesn't work. And that's how you see where it gets chopped to death.
Yeah. So anyway, if I had to grade this, it's a 2.5, 2.75, maybe.
Yeah,
that's about
right.
Yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, and like I said, I can take or leave whether she continues on in this universe. I'm more worried that Daredevil is going to be, DOA.
Oh, please don't say that.
I know it's tough, and you were worried quite rightly about Disney and how they're going to bring in these street level characters that perform so well on Netflix, and now we're seeing it. And so we gotta, until proven otherwise, I'm kind of just, I'll see it when I see it. It comes out, give me a decent trailer, do the whole process, because I'm not just instantly in.
Right.
You got to show it to me now. And that's with all this stuff. Like even just looking at a lot of the shows that might come out in 2024, there's not a lot of Marvel. No. They're doing a lot of hard resetting. And in fact, for how much we complained about Disney Plus and whatever, there's a couple of Star Wars shows that like I'm like, oh, these sound intriguing, with like The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew and some of these other ones. I'm not doing anything until you show me a trailer that looks worth a damn, because I've now been burned so many times, and Marvel's guilty of it now too. So prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it that it's worth watching these shows, even if they're individual one-offs. I don't care if they world build. Give me something just good. Don't overthink it. Just give me something good.
Yeah. I'm with you. So one question, because I did like the violent tone. So did you think?
Yeah, I thought the TVMA thing was overblown.
I thought it was overblown. But at least if you gave me Daredevil or The Punisher, whatever street level, if you want to give me that kind of violence I had in the show, I'm fine with it. You don't have to get as bad as what Punisher was or Daredevil on Netflix.
Sure. Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, I thought this was the appropriate, like, violent you can have in a show. It wasn't over the top, But
I thought Daredevil, or any of those shows obviously are more violent. And in fact, you can make an argument that at times Hawkeye is just as violent as this show.
Yeah. So the TVMA, I think, again, I wrote that down to bring that up. It's like, I think that was a little overblown. And they emphasized that too. Every time they showed the commercial, not really warranted, but okay.
Yeah. There's as much, old school lacrosse than there is as violent scenes in this show, it seems like at times.
Right.
So yeah, you're right on that score. While we have you, the last show we were kind of earmarking to talk about, you watched all of The Brothers' Son on Netflix, another show that is kind of crimey, a little violent, a little whatever, and very intriguing because it has Michelle Yeoh. Was this worth the effort? Because this has been kind of like on my watch list and haven't jumped in just yet.
I say yes, it is worth the effort. It's a very enjoyable show. It's 7 episodes. You got this family dynamic, so I'll just read you the synopsis here. This show follows Charles' son, a Taipei gangster who settled into his life as ruthless killer, but must go to LA to protect his mother and younger brother after his father was shot by a mysterious assassin and is now in a coma.
Okay.
So you have the brother dynamic, younger brother Bruce, who's going to school, doesn't know what Michelle Yeoh's past was at all, lost touch with his brother when they were kids because his brother went to go live with his dad, obviously, so he's out in Taipei. And he's living his life, and all of a sudden his brother comes back into the picture and tries to explain to him, like, you have to help the family out. And he's still, Bruce is trying to grasp what the hell's going on. And then Michelle Yeoh trying to finally, like, this is who I am, this is our past. It's a fun show. Like, it has enough comedy with great action. Like, it has really good fight choreography in this show. And they do give more camera time to Charles, who is played, I wrote it down,
Justin Chen, yeah.
Which I've never seen, but he was really good. Like, he was electric. He's dynamic. He has that presence on screen where I want to see him in more vehicles.
Yeah.
So I had a good time. Now, the plot, as it like kind of winds down towards the last 2 episodes, it took a little knock for me because I'm like, okay, that's the end game of this. Whatever. I had a fun time getting there. I will say I wish there was more Michelle Yeoh. I really do. Like, she's in it, but if I'm really focused on the brother relationship and the struggle Bruce has with, I don't want to be in the family business. I don't want to be a gangster. I want to be a part of an improv group, which he is in this series. And they kind of make fun of him for doing it. I had a really good time. Again, it balances out some really good fight and action scenes with some moments of levity that I really like. And you could tell, like, the 3 of them have really good on-screen chemistry together. And I want a second season. I will say that. I want this. I hope Netflix picks it up. It's very bingeable for me. I would give it between a 3.75 and a 4.
Okay.
For a series. And I didn't think I'd like it because it came out. I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll get to it. And
I thought they rushed it. Like, I heard it. It was out. Yeah. And then, like, I heard some pretty decent things. And now it's kind of like in the ether. It goes back into the algorithm.
Folks, just grab it out of the ether, go sit down, pop on Netflix, give it a watch. You won't be disappointed. It's not perfect, but it's quite enjoyable.
Excellent. I will have to give that a whirl myself. Michelle Yeoh doing a lot of really good things on Netflix, specifically between I loved her in Gunpowder Milkshake. She was in The School for Good and Evil. She was in The Witcher. She's got a lot of stuff that she did really well on there, and this just adds to that one there. Glad you like that one. So yeah, it's a good note to end on. A lot of TV to recap and to look at here. I'm really looking forward to what True Detective Night Country has in store. I think it's a very short season. I don't know, like 6 episodes or something. It's pretty short. So it'll be done before you know, and we'll obviously keep an eye on that and talk about it once that wraps up as well. Anything else on the brain there, Shane, before we get on out of here?
No, that's about it, man. It's a slow week at the theaters this week. I don't think there's really any new releases right now.
Yeah, I might be trying to just do the last remaining catch-up for the Oscars, especially now that the nominations came out. Probably trying to watch All of Us Strangers, Zone of Interest, certain movies like that. And I don't know. I've heard good things about Mean Girls. I might check that out. You saw The Beekeeper. There's some of those movies, so I gotta play a little catch-up. I kind of went in the weeds and watching a lot of sports and doing my Netflix job
and ISS. So I got that under my belt. So.
Yeah, we might have to talk about that on the side before I venture into that one.
Right.
So good job by you as always. Everybody out there, tell a friend, give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to us. Give us some nice love out there. Bring some new listeners in here for 2024. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to come back next week for more recent activity.